what's next for Dale.
We probably won't be able to party till we get to Vegas. After Phoenix, I'm going to Vegas.
Who's next on the horizon?
No one's ready for their first jump to the Cup Series. There's very few that can make it.
And NASCAR's heading west. NASCAR America starts now. It's time to make the cross-country journey of just over 2,000 miles to the Arizona desert. We go from palm trees to cactus at Phoenix International Raceway. It's a unique one-mile track with characteristics completely opposite of that of Daytona. Good afternoon and welcome to NASCAR America. Alongside Cup Series driver Jeff Burton, I'm Rick Allen. We transition from Daytona to Phoenix, but first I'd like your thoughts on Speed Weeks.
Well, I thought Speed Weeks was a huge success. The quality of racing in every series was really good. Close finishes. Everybody battled hard, start to finish. I thought it was a great Speed Weeks.
And Junior obviously having a great ending to that Speed Weeks. The chaos began for Junior the second he got to victory lane, and it doesn't stop until he straps into his Phoenix car on Friday. Here's a glimpse back at his memorable victory.
You want drama? We've got it.
I had a great teammate with a ton of experience behind me and knew exactly what he needed to do, and Jeff Gordon.
Tell Jeff to push me all the way into one. There, all right, bud, cover to the green here. Green.
He started rolling into the throttle, and I waited to see him start to close, and I picked the throttle up, and he leaned on the bumper, and away we went.
Junior showing no problem whatsoever. He has the field in tow.
They were nipping at our heels all the way to the finish line. It was up to me to either win it or ruin it, and so that was a difficult situation to be in.
There's a big wreck in the mirror. The 11's not clear. Keep coming, bud.
Come off before, I looked hard at that flag stand for that checkered flag. Felt like that the gods were going to be working against me, and there was going to be another lap.
You're going to do it. You're going to win it.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has won the Daytona 500 for the second time.
Oh, yeah! Woo! Yes! What a day! Unbelievable!
I've been trying to tell people for 10 years what that felt like, and it's just hard to put it into words what winning this race really means to you. I mean, I'm sure we got opportunities to win more races this year, and it's just really going to fire us up.
The Dale Jr. Victory Tour has covered 6 states, 50 interviews, and he's at a whopping 500,000 followers now on his Twitter account, which started just after the 500. He just found out this morning that more accolades are headed his way as the sport's most popular driver. Dale Jr. will be on the cover of this week's edition of Sports Illustrated. The title, Dale Jr. gets his Intimidator on. His peers has been ribbing him just a little bit. Kevin Harvick tweeted, Dale Jr. is finally on Twitter. Martin Truex Jr., he thanked Jr. for helping him surpass the 200,000 follower mark. Fellow two-time 500 winner Michael Waltrip and Redskins quarterback Robert Griffin III each sent congratulatory tweets. By the way, the Washington Redskins are Dale Jr.'s favorite team. So Dale Jr. now has to change his focus. How does he regroup and get ready for Phoenix?
Well, it's going to be a little bit hard. He's been drug all the way around the country doing all these things. And it's fun. You get to enjoy it. But at the same time, he hadn't been with his team. You know, when you win a race, especially a big race, you want to be able to enjoy that with your team. The first time he's going to see all of his team members is going to be at Phoenix on Friday. So how does he get over it? He goes to Phoenix, and they race. You heard Steve Letarte in our interview yesterday. What he said was, I'm looking forward to go to Phoenix to relax. What that means is all the things that are going around are a little bit of a distraction. He's looking forward to get to the racetrack so he can pay attention. And don't think for a minute Dale Jr. is not along those same, he's thinking that same exact thing.
Drivers love to get to racetracks. 2014 has started off with one of the biggest storylines being the rookie classes. Here's a look at their speed weeks.
Green flag is in the air. Austin Dillon on the gas. Third 3, Kyle Larson up and into the safer barrier.
The corner, like my nose is off the ground or something. All right, lock it down there. Lock it down there.
Michael Annette turns the car sideways.
Oh, yeah, that ain't good.
Kyle Larson is around.
And the 3 just wrecked you.
They're crashing up into the banking. 1, 2, 3, 4 cars involved.
One got turned. I had nowhere to go.
Still rolling what we got?
Nah, dude, we got killed. Damn it. Well, that's a fitting end.
Or way to hang in there, everybody. We're going to get way better.
Good job, Alex. Man, I was a pinball there for a long time.
You got a little hanger
Great job.
Austin, really good job, man. Ready to go to Phoenix.
Rookies were all over the place during speed weeks and Saturday's nationwide race. Dylan Kwasniewski finished 8th, while Chase Elliott came in 15th. In the Truck Series race, Tyler Reddick finished 12th. Ben Kennedy, the next generation of the France family, he finished 15th. Let's focus on the Cup rookies for a moment. Is this a two-man battle between these two guys?
Well, I think everybody believes it is, and I think there's reason to believe that. And tell you what, pull these guys up. Let's compare them a little bit. You know, both of these drivers, I think, are really equal. I think they both can compete at a high level. They've shown it in the past and what they've done. Both of their teams are strong. You got Chris Heroy with third-year experience. Right. Gil Martin, crew chief, long-time experience. But I really look at what's going on, and I think these two teams, both teams compete, and I think it's going to boil down to these two drivers. All
right, so we've got Austin Dillon. He's got a couple championships, a Truck Series championship, a nationwide championship. Anybody else we could add to this, or is it going to be just two? One guy I want to give some mention to, and I watched him last year driving this car right here. I was really impressed with Parker Kligerman and what he did when he got in that 30 car. Immediately, when he got in that car, it started performing better, running in the front, finishing the lead lap in one of the races. I don't think this team has the funding. Well, I know they don't have the funding of these other two teams. I don't think they can compete with them day in and day out, but I believe this guy right here can get it done. Three good choices for our top rookies. Now, this rookie class is reminiscent of your rookie class, actually, from 1994. A lot of talented drivers that benefited from the previous year's talented rookie class. You guys had Jeff Gordon the year before your class. That brought a lot of notoriety to you. Last year, it was Danica Patrick and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. that have helped boost the awareness of the 2014 class. So Jeff Burton's given us his opinions on the next generation of stars. Let's bring in USA Today's Nate Ryan. Nate, what's your take on Kyle Larson?
He's unflappable, Rick, and even though he had a disappointing Daytona 500, team owner Chip Ganassi told us during Speed Weeks that they don't feel as if it's going to have an adverse effect on Kyle Larson going forward. Last year, he was involved in that horrific nationwide series crash at Daytona, and a few weeks later, he's battling Kyle Busch for a victory at Bristol Motor Speedway. So they really feel as if this kid is unshakable. Even though he's only 21 years old, they feel as if he'll rebound the rest of the season. Chip Ganassi seems to have a pretty good balance of talent this year. They do, Rick, and it's a balance in the organization as well. They went through a reshuffling in before the 2013 season, and this year they entered 2014 with a lot more continuity on the personnel side. And I think that's important because on the IndyCar side, that's been the secret to Chip Ganassi winning 10 championships. He's been able to keep the core group of decision makers together for 15 or 20 years. If they can mirror that in NASCAR, they might have the same success in stock cars. They have figured out the formula for success. Thanks, Nate. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it. So Ganassi has won big races in the Cup Series, but they've never won a championship. Do they have the right thing in place now? Well, I think they have something they can really build on. You know, Jamie McMurray and Kyle Larson working together, I think that's going to be a really good thing. They both like each other, both respect each other. And you know what? If you look at postseason testing, getting ready for this year, those cars were at the front at every test we went to. Charlotte, they were really fast. Went to Nashville, they were really fast. I think these cars are going to really be good this year. Another team we're going to keep our eye on. Up next, we talk with last year's Phoenix winner, Carl Edwards. And later, the Austin Dillon story.
I'm 23 years old.
He knew that's what he wanted to do at a young age.
I was born for it.
It wasn't a natural. No.
Car 3 to the checkered flag.
There's very few that make it.
We're going to find out.
Punch 'em.
Over the last 5 years, Phoenix has been a place where drivers have ended droughts. Carl Edwards knows this better than anyone. His 2 Phoenix victories both snapped 2 separate 70-race winless streaks. And we welcome now via his phone from near his hometown of Columbia, Missouri. He's actually in St. Louis, Missouri, the driver of the '99 Ford Fusion, Carl Edwards. Carl, I want to take you back to 18 to go at Daytona, and you're in the front of the field. How many times have you relived that and thought about what you could have done differently?
A few times, and I really did enjoy leading the race. That was a lot of fun. And, and looking back on it, my spotter, Jason Hedleski, and I talked quite a bit. Robbie Reiser and I talked. I think that if I had worked better with Greg, if I would have stayed behind Greg while he was leading and not taking the opportunity to go jump out to the lead, I think we would have had a much better chance of one of us winning the race. But as it stood, I had to go for the lead. I had some fun. I learned a little bit out there, and Dale Jr. and those guys were able to get by me. But man, that really was pretty cool to be leading the Daytona 500. I had a blast.
Well, we were all watching, and we really thought you would put yourself in a great position to win. So I wouldn't second guess yourself too much, but you leave Daytona, now you get to go to Phoenix, a place that obviously you've been really, really good at. How do you feel going to Phoenix where your short track program is at Roush Fenway?
I've always liked Phoenix a lot, and that was the site of my first pavement race in the USAC Silver Crown Series. So there's a lot of really great memories from that place. You helped me a lot, Mark Martin, Kurt Busch, a lot of the guys when I first ran there in the Truck Series, and we've had great success. Last year we won the spring race. We had the fall race in the bag, and we miscalculated the fuel, and so it's a great place. I'm happy to go there. I'm hoping we can put our subway forward in victory lane again and get ourselves in the chase early on this season.
Well, you talked about the last race there where you didn't find a way to win, but you really look like you're in good shape. 2 races in a row you've gone there and been the best car. What's the secret, man? I need to know.
Yeah, no, the secret is we've been building really good race cars. Jimmy Finnig and those guys, everyone at the shop, our cars, you spend a lot of time at Roush, and you know how hard those guys work. But they really stepped it up, and I think our cars are better. We've worked better as a team. Our tests have been better. And Jimmy, the last year, a year ago, he found some stuff. Dave McDonald, our shot guy, they worked on a couple of things that really helped out. So, the track's great, car drive's great, and I hope nothing's changed.
Yeah, Carl, it seems like things are going in the right direction, and obviously you headed back to Phoenix, a track that you have a lot of success at. We want to wish you continued success on the 2014 season.
All right, well, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks to FAPS and all, and thanks to NBC for having me on. It's a pretty cool show you guys have got going.
Thank you, Carl.
All right, see you, Jeff.
So Carl Edwards is in Missouri, and our Marty Snyder is in Carl's team's race shop in Concord, North Carolina, at Roush Fenway Racing. Marty, it seems as though things are headed in the right direction for Roush Fenway.
Well, yeah, Rick, they appear to be headed in the right direction, no doubt about that. Of course, throughout their history, they have not been without success. You look at the numbers for last year, 2 of the 3 teams in the chase. The other team, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and they, of course, won Rookie of the Year in 2013. Despite all that success, there were major changes in the offseason for Roush Fenway Racing in the competition department. They changed the engineering side a little bit. They changed also what happens here at the shop. They didn't make a big deal out of it because nobody was let go from the organization. But the bottom line is that Robbie Reiser will now be the point man at the racetrack for Roush Fenway Racing. Number one, that takes pressure off of Jack Roush. He can worry about being an owner, not have to worry about the competition side. But number two, that brings a ton of experience to the racetrack for Roush Fenway every week. I talked to Reiser about the move this morning. He told me, quote, "I'll be at the racetrack until our teams start running better," end quote. Robbie brings a lot of experience. He won a championship with Matt Kenseth, and for the last several years, he's been here at the race shop in Concord, North Carolina, running everything here, so he's intimately familiar with that. Now he'll be back on the competition side at the racetrack, and as Greg Biffle told me, that brings us a new level of one direction, everybody going in the same direction, and if we're going to win a championship and keep up with Gibbs and Hendrick, that's something we have to do. So Robbie Reiser brings a ton of experience, and they're hoping a little bit of speed to those Roush Fenway cars, Rick.
Thanks, Marty. Now, you've spent quite a bit of time at Roush Fenway Racing. You know Robbie Reiser intimately. Is this a good move to have him on the road more?
Oh, it's 100% the right thing to do. I don't know why he was ever out of this part of the competition department. Robbie is great at getting people together and figuring out how to do what they want to get done. You know, here's the thing in a race team. Everybody has an idea of what to do, and they think their idea is the most important. You got to have someone that's tough enough, smart enough to make those ultimate decisions, and I think Robbie's a guy to do that.
High praise for Robbie Reiser. When we come back, a look at Austin Dillon. From go-karts to dirt tracks to Cup. We profile the North Carolina native and his family roots. NASCAR America continues next.
Yes, Walgreens, Rite Aid, and Walmart.
This day in NASCAR in 1961, Marvin Panch took advantage of Fireball Roberts' blown motor, leading the final 13 laps to win the Daytona 500. In 1967, NASCAR was introduced to Mario Andretti as the open-wheel star won the Great American Race. And in 2001, Steve Park took DEI to victory lane at Rockingham just 8 days after Dale Earnhardt's fatal crash at Daytona. Get closer to NASCAR every weekday. The latest on NASCAR and all motorsports. It's NASCAR America, weekdays 5 Eastern, only on NBCSN. Family is synonymous with NASCAR, and many current drivers grew up in the garages and pit roads of our biggest tracks, but probably none had a brighter spotlight on them than 23-year-old Austin Dillon has had. Let's take a look at how Dillon got to our premiere series in a segment called NASCAR Future Stars.
I'm 23 years old.
He knew that's what he wanted to do at a young age.
I was born for it.
Have a look at him.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
When we first started playing around with cars and go-karts or different things, he was 3 years old. Just wanted to get him out there in the dirt.
What are you doing now?
Hey, was he a natural? No.
I know I hit my grandfather a few times on the go-kart track just because that was the mentality. And that's what Dale created when he was racing. You know, whoever's in your way, you got to get to the front.
There's the winner right there, Austin Dillon. Get out and wave at the crowd.
We're pulling into RCR, kind of where I show up every day pretty much during the week when I'm home, when I'm not traveling.
We had a plan put together. They were going to run the bandoliers, and then we put them on dirt, learn car control.
We had to win in each level.
Austin Dillon wins in Nashville.
We never moved until we did.
Car 3 to the checkered flag.
It's like everyone. You give them an opportunity, and they got to make the best of it.
We got 2 championships in both of the series leading up to the Cup Series. Those are stats.
You know, it's such a big step for Nationwide to Cup.
Dillon gets turned around into the middle of the pack.
If you could please stand up, we'd like to see what's underneath these black covers.
Austin said, I want the number 3. I told him, I said, you know, Dale drove it, and that's a really famous number. He says, I know that. I know he was my hero. I want to drive it because it was your number.
You have all the other challenges of what other people think.
Unless you have the most abundance of talent, you have to be able to want it.
The strength endurance workout for you today is going to be 3 rounds as fast as possible.
That's the good thing about these quick workouts. Even though they're hard, your heart rate's up so high. Mentally, it tries to break you down halfway through. It's hard to think.
Definitely think Austin has the passion for the sport. He knows that he owes NASCAR something, and he owes it to the fans.
No one's ready for that first jump to the Cup Series. There's very few that can make it.
We're going to find out.
Jeff, there's a similarity between Austin and yourself. You grew up and started with your dad giving you a go-kart and going out to race. Is there added pressure for this young man to succeed at the Cup level?
Well, I think it is added pressure. You know, you can't drive for Richard Childress and drive that number 3 car without there being added pressure. That put a little bit of a bullseye. But you know what? The Dillon family, they don't mind that. I mean, they like the challenges. His father, Mike, Austin, Ty, they don't mind challenges. They don't mind things being a little difficult and trying to prove to people they can do it.
Some people have said that they're handed things. They have great equipment. But a truck championship and a nationwide championship, you can't get those handed to you.
Well, things are given to them, and they have a great opportunity. And you know, Mike and I have spent a lot of time together talking about it because, you know, my son races as well. You know, you try to give them the best stuff that you can give them because they're your children, but ultimately, they got to take advantage of it. And who in racing hasn't had a break?
Sure.
Who in racing hasn't had somebody help them? So, yeah, both of them are in great situations. But at the same time, if they don't succeed, it doesn't matter what their last name is. Sponsorship won't be there. If sponsorship isn't there, it doesn't matter if it's Pop or anybody else. There won't be anybody there to help them because you got to have the money. So ultimately, they're going to have to be successful.
And we'll definitely keep our eye on the Dillons. NASCAR America continues from the heart of racing in places like Fairgrounds Speedway in Nashville, Tennessee, Hickory Motor Speedway in Hickory, North Carolina. And how about Flat Rock Speedway in Carlton, Michigan? NASCAR America continues next.
BSN.
Wednesday night rivalry returns to NBCSN with a doubleheader. First, the Bruins take on the Sabres, and the Kings and the Avalanche face off. That's tonight. Rivalry night coverage begins at 6:30 Eastern on NBCSN. The NASCAR Mexico Toyota Series opens the new season on Mundos. The Toyota 120 live from PIR Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern on Mundos. So the mayor is in the garage once again. Obviously, everyone respects your opinion. Let's discuss the chase. And I want to give the rules to the chase format. You've got 16 positions in the challenger round. Already, Dale Earnhardt Jr. goes to the top of that list. After 3 races, we eliminate 4. They go into the contender round. After 3 more races, we eliminate 4 more to 8 drivers in the eliminator round. 3 more races, you come down to the final 4 drivers. Those 4 have a chance at the championship. So, do you have to win to be in the challenger round of 16?
No, you don't have to win in most years. If you look at it, in most years, about 12 and a half cars transfer or are winners in the first 26 races. So said those guys are transfer. Then you take the next 4 cars based on points. Now, who knows how many winners we're going to have this year, but if you look at averages based on when the chase started, then no, you would not have to win to get in.
Is it more important, for example, a driver like you? You go to Las Vegas and think, okay, can I win at Las Vegas and get into the chase?
Well, no, I can't, because I have to enter every race.
Right.
So that, and that's the right thing, by the way. A driver that isn't entered every race should not be able to make the chase.
But winning is more important now. Drivers have got to get up on the wheel, especially as we get to race 23, 24, 25, 26, when guys don't have enough points and they have to win to get in.
Well, it puts you in a position of almost knowing you're in, unless you have 17 winners. And then if you have 17 winners, then points matter again. So again, winning really puts you in the best position, no doubt about it, and that's what NASCAR wants. Fans wanted winning to mean more. That's what this does. But it's still, you still have to be consistent. And the teams that are consistent, that are top 5 in points, most likely they're going to get in the chase too.
All right, so we've got winning at an importance. We have our top 20 currently as they stand after we've left Daytona. Dale Earnhardt, the only one with a win, obviously. 17 through 20 on the outside looking in.
Well, those guys, it's a great example of what we're going to see. Those guys, if this was the race before Richmond, those guys would still have a chance. And that's what's so cool about this. You're never out of it. Right up until that Richmond race, you still have a chance to get in.
We are going to discuss this topic over and over, I'm sure, right up until the chase begins. From our entire NASCAR America family here on NBCSN, thanks for joining us and have a great evening. Pro Football Talk is next.